Walsh.
So guys, we are back on the podcast. We are live. We're doing it also in front of a live TikTok audience today. Welcome everybody on TikTok, and we'll be joining, get some of your feedback there in a while. But today is the wacky dating stories of April 2024. Yeah, every month doesn't fail at all to blow my mind away. Some of these are just like, wow, and yeah, it's good to look at it from different points of view here. You know, I think, like, we're gonna start off with the first one. Does a man need to drive? So this girl, she was going on a date with a guy, and he tells her that he doesn't have a car. She emails in and she asks, is this a bit weird that a guy doesn't drive this day and age? He doesn't live in the city itself. She lives in the city, so she doesn't have a car, but whatever, that's fine. She walks everywhere and she's used to it. But the thing is, she doesn't know where to go with this now. Like, what? Now, she's thinking a bit too much here as well at the same time. She was even saying in the email, well, what if we wanted to go on trips away and go here, go to the beach? I'm like, whoa. Go on your first date first and see what happens. Okay? A guy not having a car, it doesn't mean, I mean, maybe he crashed his car. I mean, get more information from the guy, you know what I mean? Before you start labeling him the candy man here. That's what I would say. And most important, who gives a damn if he doesn't? Like, you don't have a car. You know? Now, I get it from a girl's point of view. Jeez, if the guy doesn't have a car, you know, what's he living with? Is he living with about 4 other people, 6 other people, 7 other people at home? You know what I mean? And everybody on TikTok, let us know what you think. A man not having a car, but you haven't been on a first date with him, is it a turn off? Or is it fine? See, I don't see the problem here. Go on the date, see what he's like. The chances are, let's be honest here, at best, on a first date, you've got, what, 50-50 chance that you'll see them again? Would that be a fair percentage to say? I don't even know the odds on this one here. I really don't. But let's say it's 50-50, and that's probably being fair. That's probably being, or not fair, but being really generous and optimistic. But let's say it is. Okay, so you work around the car, right? You work around the car. Now, somebody here on TikTok here, let's just jump in with this one. Liz here. Hey Liz, it's fine. My brother lives in a big city and doesn't drive and doesn't need to. Okay, well there you go. Now the thing is with this guy, he doesn't live in the city. Now, the girl didn't get into too much information. Does he take the bus? Does he take taxis? Does he take trains? Clearly, he's managed to live his life so far without a car. And he's going to be able to go on a date. I don't see this as a big problem. I really don't. Now, let's flip it around. Let's look at it from the guy's point of view. A guy and a girl not driving. And if she lives out of the city or away from you, yeah, it can be a pain in the ass. Because that means if you do go on a couple of dates, then all of a sudden you're more inclined to pick her up, and you gotta pick her up early, and not necessarily, you gotta pick her up, but that's how you'd be feeling if you decided, okay, I want to see this girl again. Now, at the same time, she can get a bus and a train, but then again, I suppose in a man's point of view, we're thinking, well, look, you know, we gotta pick up the girl. We have to pick up the girl. You know, it's the gentleman thing to do. So then if you flip that around, if a woman thinks that too, and by the way, there's nothing wrong with that. Old school kind of method here, that's what I'd be looking at. I don't know, maybe the guy had a drink driving incident and he's off the fucking road for a couple of years. Do you know, like, there's some things that people don't want to talk about when it comes to certain things. Do you know what I mean? It can be a touchy subject. It can be a touchy subject. But anyway, that's the first one. So, okay, let's move on to the next one. Now, the next one is girl cheats on boyfriend with with his best friend, and she's asking me and the audience here that follow me for help. Yeah, let me rephrase that again one more time for you guys. She emails me. She says that she cheats on her boyfriend with his best friend. And she's asking me, how do I get through this? How do I cope with the guilt and the shitty feeling? Jesus. Jesus Christ. Is this what the Nazis did back in the day? You know, how do I cope with killing all these innocent people? Like, can anybody help me? Is this where we're getting to? We have to have sympathy now for the people that fuck other people over? You see, this is what I'm afraid of with this whole woke thing, right? And the gender identity, and everybody's offended and you can't say this and you can't say that. Because you see, this is where this is going here. People will start to say, well, you know, you can't say anything about me cheating on his best friend. It happened. It was a mistake. I shouldn't have done it. I've made my point. You've made your point. Let's get on. Let's move forward. Let's keep going here. Really? How would you feel if he banged your girl, your girlie, or your best friend? I mean, you see, I don't even know if you'd call this narcissism. I don't even know if you'd call this entitlement. I just think it comes from a place of... In fact, it's the other way. You never had things go right for you all your life, and you've been pissed off and hurt by that. Probably something from your parents, and it comes from there, and it's rooted from there, and then all of a sudden, you bitch and moan because mommy and daddy never gave you everything you wanted. And it's always stuck with you. You've never got it resolved. Now, don't get me wrong. I think we've all unresolved issues, including me here, by the way, all right? You know, I'm including myself here. So, but this is just out of left field here. This is not right. This is not fucking human being proper fucking... What are you, the queen of the world? Like, you know, are you one of these people back in the days? Do you remember those people back in the days? Is it the Roman guys, or even those kings back in the day, right? Remember they are these guys, these Middle Eastern guys, they've got 7 wives, but they can do whatever the fuck they want. And it doesn't matter what the fuck they do. Is this where we're coming from? I mean, I presume this girl's not from Dubai, because, well, number one, women can't get away with that stuff over there. But where else is there in the world where this shit happens? Do you know what I mean? Like, and even Barbara here on TikTok, that can't be real. Well, maybe it is, maybe it isn't. But you know something? Every email that comes into me, I always do treat it as a real email. And you know why? That's not me being gullible. That's just me knowing and experiencing myself, first-hand experience, how fucked up some people are and the delusional stuff behind it. Because for all we know, this girl, well, you know, my boyfriend was an asshole, and the best friend of his, you know, he was such a nice, comforting guy, and he's always been there for me. He was always texting me to make sure I was okay, because he knows, well, look, you know, hey, John, your boyfriend, he can be a bit unsettled sometimes, but look, I'll be here to steer you right, and I'll have a chat to John myself, you know? Like, get the fuck out of here. Who the hell do you think you are? I didn't come back to her with anything on that one. Fuck that, man. That one actually pissed me off, I have to say. And anybody else here on TikTok, let me know what you think. That one really pissed me off, I have to say now. And I don't care if it was the other way around. A guy cheats on his girl with the girly best friend, or this way. Same fucking thing. It doesn't matter who's done it, the man or woman. That shit pisses me off, man. Piss anybody off. And extremely hurtful. And where is she now? Is she with the guy now? You see, that's what I want to wonder. And you can be sure as fuck, if she did end up hooking up with the best friend, and she's now with him, you think she's not going to do it to him? Yeah, right. This girl's looking for any excuse. I mean, this is something from Judge Judy in America. Do you ever see these freaks that are on the show? You know? Oh, man. Jesus. And let's see, before we get on to the next one, XZ on TikTok, hey, I wouldn't care if my girlfriend would cheat on me. Okay, XZ, that's a bit weird. Alright, you're obviously, maybe you're fucking around here. Okay. Oh, by the way, sorry guys, I've got I haven't been on TikTok live for about a week. I've been dying with a cold. Like the last few days have only been the first few days I've been actually able to speak properly. Well, not even speak properly, but that you can understand me properly. Jesus. So the next one. Boy goes on girl on a first date. Boy and girl go on a first date. The ex-boyfriend comes in of the girl on the first date and gets into a fight with the guy and punches the guy. Like, I even saw some of the comments on TikTok on this one, and there was a couple of people saying, oh my god, I knew the exact same thing that happened to somebody I knew, this and that. Like, it sounds ridiculous, right? But let's look at it this way. There's a couple of psychos out there, and let's say, well, clearly the ex-boyfriend's been following this guy, or this girl. So she followed him to her first date. The guy went fucking mental. And then he confronted the guy. Now, we don't know, of course, if the guy that she was on the date with is a bit of a hothead as well. You could have had two hotheads going at each other here. Do you know what I mean? And it just ended up in a fucking brawl. We don't know the incident, but Jesus Christ. I mean, I tell you, if you're that guy on that first date, I'm not going near that girl again. I think most people would, right? You wouldn't go near this girl again because God only knows what would happen for the next fucking time. The guy gets punched on a first date. He doesn't even know the guy, and it all just goes to shit. Jesus. And by the way, hi Riri on TikTok. And where do you go with this? Where do you go with this? I mean, for this poor guy on the first date getting punched, this is something that you'd actually give. Alright, that's it, lads. I'm throwing in the fucking towel. I'm not going on a date again. I am done with fucking dating. Everybody can go screw themselves. Go away from me. I'm retiring. Throwing in the towel. Elvis has left the building here. No more dates. We're done. We're done. But the problem is, I'd be saying to you, this guy, don't, dude, don't give up. That's just a freak first date. A freak first date. But you know what? They were even on about that in the radio there. I'm just kind of going off the point a little bit here. Even on the radio there a few weeks ago, they were talking about road rage and, I mean, the stuff that you'd see even on the roads these days, the horrendous driving and the rage that people get into. Maybe that says a lot. Like, I'm being really serious here, guys. And look, a lot of you know that I used to be a race car driver, right? And I can tell, in a way, how somebody, what their personality is like by someone actually going karting or even driving a car. But call that a racing driver's thing, I don't know, but I can tell. And everybody on the fucking roads right now is fucking nuts, or they just don't have a clue how to drive. And then they get really pissed off. So maybe you can maybe the day people are actually okay on the roads is the day you can go dating again. Do you know? I know that sounds fucking really fucked up. Really fucked up. But Jesus, man. Jesus. It's incredible. Let's have a look at what people are saying on TikTok here before we go on to the next one. And Vicky, I look like Frank Sinatra. Jesus, well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. I've never heard that before. I don't look like anything Frank Sinatra. Jesus, but thanks, I guess. So, okay, let's keep going back to this one. So, the next one we have on the list. Guy mocks girl. Guy mocks girl of her weight, but is the nicest guy ever in public. I remember this one. So, this is a couple. They go out with each other. And she sent me quite a long email. They were going out with each other for 6 months. And he's the most charming, nicest, James Bond, charismatic. He'd charm anybody, men and women, when he's around her friends, his friends, in other words, in public. He'd charm anyone. And the moment he's inside closed doors, he's making fun of her weight, he's putting her down. He's doing this, he's doing that. Now, thank God she didn't say that he was abusive. Thank God. But you just don't know with some people. You just don't know with some people. And you know, that's why I always say, I've said this a lot before, always go on a date. If you're not sure of the person, give them rope to hang themselves. Now, in this case for this girl, I don't know why she's still with this guy after 6 fucking months. He's clearly a prick. Now, maybe she's got some unresolved issues with her parents, and she's used to abuse from her mum or dad back in the day, you know, and she's trying to relive that pattern again. I mean, this shit is batshit crazy, and this is all in our heads, guys. You know, maybe there's something going on like that for her. But either way, I hope you listening to this, get out now. Get out. Because I think there's a part of you that feels that you actually do deserve it. So then now you're trying to chase the whole scenario, and you're trying to chase him and get approval off him. It's not going to work. All you're doing is just chasing your fucking tail. That's all you're doing here. Chasing your fucking tail. You know what I mean? And by the way, thanks for all these likes coming in. I'm going to keep an eye on your comments here on TikTok, guys. So I haven't forgotten about you. Okay, I'm just obviously recording the podcast as I go here. But guys, you know, we got to get real here. We really do, and we've got to suck it up. Because a lot of our problems, and you see, this is where I got really self-aware when I broke up with my ex. When I broke up with my ex, I realized it wasn't that I missed her that much. I had unresolved issues that were fucking poked at. You know? And I was chasing my unresolved issues. Not her. I was chasing my unresolved issues. Psychologists say it's always about us at the end of the day. If you get me? We all have problems with someone else because we feel there's something about them. Even if somebody doesn't like you, right? It's nothing to do with you. That's what they feel. But you care because what don't they like about me? What is it about me? And you're thinking in the back of your head, well, I didn't like that about myself, or I don't like that, or mum and dad used to call me this, or my friends used to call me that, or I used to get bullied about that. So again, it's all about you. It's all about me. It's all about everybody else. I hope I'm making sense here. Oh yeah, and this is another one here. A woman wants to manipulate a narcissist. This is definitely a weird one. This is definitely a weird one. Hang on. Well, let me just double check now and make sure I'm on the right path here. A woman wants to manipulate a narcissist. She was dating one, and then she's saying to herself, well, you know, I kind of want to get him back. I want to piss him off. You know? Listen, no one's winning with a narcissist. I went out with fucking 2 in my experiences. 2 of them, right? Talk about fucking lunacy from Peter. Crazy shit, man. Crazy shit. I think it's a great thing, and I was even speaking about this, I think about 2 weeks ago. I think it's a very good thing if you do happen to get into a relationship with get into a dating / relationship with a narcissist, not because you should end up with one, it's because you will learn from them. You will definitely see an ugly side of dating and an ugly side of people. And if you have been a bit wet behind the ears, a bit innocent like I was before, this made me fucking wise up big time. Not be closed off by women, absolutely not. What I would do is I'd be giving people even a little bit more rope here on this one. After my narcissistic dates, clearly I'm not with them anymore, and no one's ever going to survive with these people anyway, because they're a bunch of dicks. And then you go out with the next person, or you go on a couple of dates, and if you're not sure about that person, okay, hang on to that red flag. And if you're not sure, I wouldn't say necessarily dump the person or get rid of them. If you're not sure, give them an experience. Let them hang themselves. You know? Let them hang themselves. Like, for instance, it was only a few weeks ago. I bumped into this girl, okay? And she was giving me shit in a bar. She's like, oh, you're that TikTok guy. I'm like, oh, no. Now, I don't mind. I'm used to a bit of abuse. I don't give a fuck. But you could feel now she's got the finger wagging at me, and I'm like, oh, no. Oh, Jesus. Here we're in for a lecture here. And now I'm having a cigarette out in the smoking room, and I'm like, oh, fuck. Let's finish this quick. Let's go, let's go. And she kind of corners me a little bit. Now, there's people around, and they're kind of looking over here, right? And I'm like, don't make a scene, don't make a scene. Just, okay, just nod and agree, Peter. Nod and agree. Nod and agree. We're good, we're good. So that's fine. So she's like, so, you know, what's the story with you anyway? Like, oh, you're just looking for attention, are you? I went, actually, I'm trying to help people. And you know what? The moment she said, oh, you're looking for attention, I went, no. Actually, this fucking girl's looking for attention. I didn't say it out loud, but I was waiting for her to hang herself. And how did I hang her? I literally took out my phone, okay? And this was a pretend, right? I just wanted to get my confirmation on the deal here. I took out my phone, I went, oh, do you know what? I'm actually going to do a quick video, actually, speaking enough about TikTok. So I turned on the camera, and all of a sudden, she was fixing her hair. Now, she's giving me shit, right? And all of a sudden, she turned into the most gentle little girl, sweetheart the world's ever seen. Because I put her into the video. Now, you could call that, whoa, what are you doing that for, right? And I blatantly, on purpose, 100% did this because I knew the type of girl I was dealing with, and I knew she'd melt the moment you put a camera on her. I knew it! Fucking knew it! Click of a finger. I just wanted to get that confirmation on the deal. And that was it. Job done. Okay? So, what's my point? My point is, it's good to find out these things. If I never went out with a narcissist, I probably would have been like in a bit of a mess. Like, oh Jesus, what the fuck am I going to do with this girl? Like, what? I maybe would have doubted myself. I maybe would have, I don't know, had a fight with her. Like, who the hell do you think you were? You know? You don't know. But you sharpen up. You sharpen up. And trying to manipulate a narcissist back, it ain't gonna happen. It ain't gonna happen. What? First of all, even if you can win, what are you winning? You know what I mean? What are we winning here? It's not good. It's not a good scenario to be in. Anyway, the next one. A couple of people have said this, and there was a lot of comments on this one, is that when a girl emailed in and she said, well, she saw a guy in a bar, and this has actually come up quite a bit. She sees a guy in a bar, she swiped right on him on Tinder or Bumble or whichever one it was, I can't remember. But she was like, oh, he's really hot. And then she's in a bar the next couple of days or weeks, whenever it was. And he never swiped right on her, so she never got a match. So she sees him in the bar, and she's kind of like, oh God, that's your man. You know, and she's actually said, she funnily enough, this was interesting. She said that she kind of felt a bit vulnerable because she automatically assumed that because she swiped right, he saw her on Tinder and he went left. She automatically had that kind of assumption. You know, and it's fascinating because, yeah, fair enough. All right, I get it. You put yourself out there a little bit, but that's my whole point, and I've said this so many times. You don't know, guys, anybody on TikTok, you just don't know if the person has swiped right on you. You know? You don't know. Or, Jesus, God forbid, even I've been in this situation where sometimes on Tinder, you know, you might swipe left by mistake. Do you know that's, you know, I think we've all been there if you're on Tinder. Your thumb goes left by mistake, right? I've done that loads of times, and you're like, bollocks. You know, she was really cute. Now, it doesn't mean I was going to get a match, but you're like, fuck. Or if you're in a bit of a rush and somebody interrupts you, you know, I mean, it's just split second, 2/10 of a second distraction, and you're swiping, all of a sudden somebody goes, Peter, yeah, what's up? You know, and you swipe left by mistake. You know, God knows what could happen. I would go for it anyway. And do you know what? I always say, what if the person actually fucking really likes you when they actually meet you, even though they did swipe left? What if you have bad photos of yourself? What if you do? Maybe you think your photos are fantastic, but actually they're crap. You know? Or, I know this about guys as well. Okay? Here's another thing, ladies, for you. There's quite a few guys, and I can't speak for every guy here now, of course. There's quite a few guys out there that if you have a Tinder photo of yourself up close, now in other words, you can't even see your top part, you can't even see your shoulders or your chest or your legs or your body. In other words, if it's literally just your face, like you can barely even see your neck, right? Seriously now, there's girls out there like this. If we see that, we're like, oh God, how big is she? Now, I can't speak for every man, okay? But we're thinking you're hiding something. And I'm being serious, and I'm trying to help here, ladies. All right? These up close right in your face, those ones, and if you've got a good body, you are screwing yourself. Now, I'm not saying go off and be fucking topless and show off your ass. We hate that crap. Maybe we want to get a one-night stand off you. Maybe. But we don't have any respect for you. You know, we don't. We don't have any respect for you. And then, of course, these are the girls and guys that shout out, why aren't people respecting me? Oh, man. Oh, man. It just blows my mind. Okay, here's the next one. I actually did a podcast on this, a separate podcast on this one, only recently. This was a fucking beaut, this one. So, boyfriend has a girlfriend. And, actually, hang on, before we jump into this, let me just check on TikTok here what we're, people are saying, Riri, well done, bet you got dizzy when the table turned. Oh, about the girl? Yeah, oh yeah. Oh, she turned into the most wonderful sweetheart the world's ever seen. World's ever seen. Kat, that's so not fair when men think that. Kat, what do you mean by that now? Can you let me know about that? Do you mean about we think the girl is big? Is that what you mean? We're thinking that because we can't see the rest of your body. You know? And Nadine. Okay, before we go on to the next one. Nadine on TikTok. What you wear should not determine the level of respect you get. What you wear should not determine the level of respect you get. Well, Nadine, I will say to you one thing. If we see a girl who has literally barely nothing on and their ass shoved to the camera, we're thinking, oh God, here we go again. Another narcissist who loves fucking dancing and being half naked on TikTok. And the chances are we're thinking, all right, how many other guys are fucking trying to sink it into her? That's what we're saying to ourselves. And yeah, some guys still might swipe right, but we're thinking the girl is a, dare I say it, a tramp. I'm not saying that every girl is, but we're thinking that. I mean, imagine a guy topless, right? And that's all you see. He's got 5 photos up, and in all 5, he's just showing off his muscles, all right? You're thinking, oh, give me a break, dickhead. You know what I mean? It's the same type of thing here. Men are the same. You know? Kat, about the pics, I'm a curvy lady, and that's putting most men off. Are you joking me? Okay, we're going to come back to curvy. Actually, no, let's go into curvy right now. This is good. I like the way. And we'll come back to the stories here in a minute. Guys, curvy is huge for men. We love this stuff. Seriously. I've done so many... In fact, after this, I'm going to do another social media post on TikTok here after this podcast about curvy. Does anyone realize how much a lot of men love curvy women? I'm being so fucking serious here. I'm being serious as cancer here. I can't speak for every man. Of course not. Well, men love the big booty. The big boobs are a combination of both. We love it. Now, there's some guys out there that have no problem admitting that. They'd hold the girl's hand down the street. Not a bother in the world. They don't care. Then there's some guys that are kind of the closet curvy guy, right? That they don't want to admit that they like curvy guys in case people laugh at them or whatever. Now, look, nothing I can do about that. Nothing you can do about that. But let me tell you, like, do you realize how many girls that are big are overweight and they've got a serious attitude on them? Now, I'm not saying girls overweight or curvy have attitudes. I'm just saying there's a lot of them out there are, right? And because they've got so many men hanging off them because a lot of men are into curves. You're in your head, girls, I'm telling you. And you know what? You can't compete with me on this one. I'm sorry, you cannot compete with me on this one. You can't take me down on this point because I am a man and I know what men, a lot of men, not every man, what us men think about curves. This is coming straight from the fucking orchard here. Alright? Straight from the horse's mouth here. A lot of us guys love curves. Love it. So, let's have a look at the TikTok before we keep going here. Oh, I'm sorry guys, I'm sniffling here. Oh god. And, okay. About the pics, I'm a curvy lady and that puts most men off. Cat. Cat, well, maybe the photos are just in a weird shape, not weird shape, but a weird... I don't know. I don't know. I'd have to see, but trust me, if you're showing off a bit of curve, men love that. Okay? They love it. Whereas maybe you're conscious, maybe you're too conscious, maybe you're actually kind of hiding the curves a bit and the men actually can't see it. Maybe that's it. And then Soji Ash, why do you cheat with them then? Okay, maybe that's someone else here. Shiv, I think that about men. I presume were we talking about curves here? Barry, NG actually agree with you. Nadine, like catfish, men in all their pics have their hats. Then when you see them, they're bald. Oh, God. Alright, well, any of the lads that are listening to this, there you go. Why do that, lads? Seriously. Why do that? What is the fucking point of that? That's one thing I don't get. Okay. What's deemed too curvy? Not at all. But just try and have an open mind. Okay, we'll come back to TikTok there in a minute, guys. So, the next one. Man watches porn when girlfriend is away, but the sex is great. So, they have amazing sex, apparently. And she works away, travels away abroad. And when she's away, the guy watches a bit of porn. She's wondering, really? Does he really have to do it? Apparently the sex is amazing, but she thinks the amazing sex should be enough for when she's away. Well, not necessarily. The guy just has a clear high sex drive. Like, there's no rocket science on this one. He has a high sex drive. There's no big deal. When you're away, what's wrong? And I'll put it this way. If he did start watching more porn and ye were having less sex, now you got a problem. Now you got a problem. But he's not. The sex is still amazing. Do you know? I honestly would not worry about that, guys, at all in the slightest. Okay, but you know what, actually, here's one positive story before we come back to you there on TikTok, guys. One real positive story I just heard there. There's a guy, she's got a boyfriend, and this guy, he's so honest. Like, there's good people out there, guys. She's even telling me he got undercharged there for something when they were in a shop, and something came out to like 20 quid, but it actually should have been 30, 35 quid. And he went, oh, no, you undercharged me. And apparently this guy does this a lot. And, you know, the girl behind the counter was like, oh, thank you very much. You're very honest. And he looked at the girl behind the counter going, well, why wouldn't I be? You know, he's even surprised that she says that about him. But, like, it's the tiny little things. There's good fucking people out there. They want to be honest. They want to be fair. They're humble. They believe in karma. I mean, if you believe in karma and you go around fucking people over all the time, maybe you're careless, maybe you're an idiot, I don't know. But look, you're just going to have to expect that karma's going to come around and bite you on the ass eventually, right? That's what I'd be saying to myself. Jesus. Anyway. Okay, what's next? Oh yeah, and a girl actually. This is a good one I think to bring up, guys. I think this is a very good one to bring up actually. A girl said that she really, really misses her boyfriend. Wasn't it a girl? Yeah, that's right. And she really, really misses him. She broke it off with him. She dumped him. But she's wondering why she misses him so much. They were, I think, with each other for over a year or something. Well, obviously you're going to miss the person. But it doesn't mean you actually want to be with the person. I mean, look, Jesus, if I had if I had, guys, I don't know, if you're eating, like, this, you can even relate this to food. If you're eating crap, bad food every day, and then after a year you stop that food, you build a tolerance for that food. Your body is molding around that food, gelling into it, getting used to it, adapting to it. You take that food away, what happens? Now, imagine you're talking to your friend. Hey man, you're on that diet now. How are you getting on? Oh, well, I'm feeling better, but you know, I do miss that food. Now, can you imagine if your friend says, really? You're missing the food? Geez, maybe you should go back on it, so? No, you don't go back on it, dickhead. It doesn't mean because you miss the food, it doesn't mean that you should be with that, eat that fucking food again. It's just your body is trying to mold back into a proper normal position again. Do you know? Now, relate it to a boyfriend-girlfriend. You break up. The person could be toxic for you. Just because they were toxic and you miss them afterwards, it doesn't mean that you should be back with them, okay? It just means that you molded around that person. You were defensive, or you were offensive, you were God knows what. But you don't get back with that person because you miss them. It doesn't mean that missing something doesn't mean you want them back. Doesn't mean you should have them back. That's what we all have to be very self-aware of. Because we can get into a pattern of getting used to something. I hope I'm making sense, guys. I really do. This is part 1. We'll be back with part 2 tomorrow.
Peter Walsh.